Veterans are laid to rest out here. Yeah, we as a community, we kind of let the cemetery, let it get out of hand, but it just, in my opinion, there's too much history out here. There's too much love, too many people that paved the way for us to just forget about them and allow nature to come through and consume this sacred ground. So we're gonna do our part. Hopefully we can get the city to pitch in and help us out as well. You know, when you talk about the history of places like Warrenton, we weren't allowed to be buried in the city cemetery. So most of our resting places are privately owned, which means, you know, they have to be maintained by people other than the city. And what happened with this one in particular, the Scott Labor Home Cemetery Society, the last living member died 15, 20 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. So cemetery just got out of hand. But again, we got all these heroes and their families and community leaders buried out here. And we're just gonna keep taking the time to do our part to not only restore the physical parts of the cemetery, but the memory of those that came before us. We have Mr. Benny Swint laid to rest right up here. And one of the entrepreneurs of the community, a great man of the community. We got Big Sarge right here. Big Sarge was born in South Carolina, but he came to Warrenton. I don't know the full story, but I just know as a kid, that big guy, I was scared of him. But here we are. We out here doing what we can, trying to bring this stone back to life and preserve this history. We don't tell our own story and preserve our own history, who will? No one. So, oh yeah, there we go. And what I'm using here is called D2 solution. So I dilute it with a little water and sprayed it. Let it sit on the stone for about 10 minutes, and now we can see the end result, or at least the starting result, because we're not done. We got to get back out here when we get a little more time. There we go. That's what we're talking about right there. Right there. That's what we're talking about right there. Conway Dawson, Master Sergeant, U.S. Army, World War II and Korea. Born, I can't see from that side, June 26, 1916, and passed away January 29th, 1983. I'm sure I saw it as a kid, the cemetery here, but I do remember coming to Sarge's funeral. I do remember that as a kid. We came to his funeral, so. And if we look at the back side, we can see that this D2 solution works very well. And again, it's approved by the federal government, and it's used by the national cemeteries throughout the country as being safe to use on these stones. So that's all we're gonna go with while we're out here. But here we go. Conway Dawson, Master Sergeant, U.S. Army. And we're gonna come up with another date, and we're gonna need as much support as we can get. If we look back over at let's walk over toward Mr. H.B. Brown. And Mr. H.B., that's Mr. Hornsby Brown's brother. And I'm gonna do the back side of Headstone real quick. But as you can see, I scraped all the pine needles and leaves off of the grave site. But as you can see, this entire little area, there's not a lot of work we got to do out here. Yes, sir. Hey, I'm good. Appreciate it.
You sure or not?
Yes, sir.
I got some in the refrigerator.
Oh, no, I'm good.
Oh, okay.
All right now. I forgot what I was saying. I can't find my brush. Oh, brush in my hand. All right, we're gonna do the back side real quick. But yeah, so